Hey, how's it going? It's the Slayer here. Welcome to Mortal Kombat Monday and my double feature for the same. So, first up, what we are doing is we are starting with Mortal Kombat 4. Now, here I'm using a freeware called ReShade on the version of Mortal Kombat 4 that I got from GOG.com. As you can see here, ReShade is optional freeware. It's not a part of the official Mortal Kombat 4 release either on GOG or elsewhere. I'm optionally using it to scale up the graphics here just as an experiment. But GOG, as I've mentioned in my prior videos, has done a good job of including Glide, which you can use to scale up this game from 1997 to work on modern gaming desktops and laptops. And I have a separate video on how to configure the official version and how to get it to recognize your Windows 11 graphics cards, all without using anything other than the official software. But here, as an experiment, I somebody who had responded to one of my comments on YouTube mentioned Reshade. I primarily use that to scale up Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which definitely looks dated without it, but I thought let's experiment on this as well. So I'm using Arcane Bloom, Film Tone Map, and HDR, Vibrance, and the CRT effect. The main effect is the CRT effect, which gives like a curved television screen view. And I'm experimenting with other things here. I need to look up more into what they actually mean, and experts can probably use download you get a chance to download tons of different effects, and you can experiment with them if you're like familiar with graphics and create your own work or know what they mean. This is like a treasure trove that you can spend hours and hours experimenting with. But I've basically the main experiment I've picked is the CRT one, which gives it like a TV screen view instead of a flat screen view, so makes it look like you're playing it on a console connected to your TV in the 90s. And I've also used some Magic HDR and Arcane Bloom and a couple of things. Now, the things to note here is that for some, yeah, this looks pretty nice and realistic, but for some people, up till the 10 minutes mark, because I've added both Arcane Bloom and Magic HDR and a couple of other effects, up till the 10-minute mark, certain things might have a bit of a glow. It's not exactly bright or sparkly lights, like, the kind that you'd need a photosensitivity warning. But up till the 10 minutes mark in this video, some things would have a bit of a glow. But after a while, once it started annoying me a bit, then at the 10 minutes mark, I shut off the effects that cause the extra glow. A lot of you may not even notice it. So, because here what I'm doing is I'm just testing that how my effects look. You can make out whether the glow is bad or not. I'm just testing how they look. So they don't look too bad here. It looks pretty nice. So because I just tested it in practice mode before I began my arcade ladder run as a part of Mortal Kombat Monday. So here, see, I'm looking at what it looks like with and without Arcane Bloom. And then I've got Magic HDR and Fake HDR. So yep, Magic HDR at times dulls it a bit while it makes certain effects brighter, but in person it looks pretty nice and much more realistic than the game usually does. So then yeah, you can see here this bloom has come because I've put Magic HDR, but then I tested it in this well. So it's a bit like not exactly, yeah, oh yeah, I love the effects of the fire with this reshade manipulation. And but yep, so then I decided to do an arcade run, and I'm playing this at the highest difficulty level, ultimate. So it's going to have a bit of a glow here, which you normally don't see, but it's not like a bright sparkly light that can affect somebody who's photosensitive. But if the glow is disturbing your eyes, you can go straight to the 10 minutes marks, because from there I remove the glow. But it's mostly in the menus, but here it's all right. There isn't much of a glow here. So I did this arcade ladder as a part of Mortal Kombat Monday. In the last few weeks, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 4 a lot, and I have a separate video about how I've defeated this game and with various characters. But today I actually lost one game in the run, which is partly because sometimes the AI is just randomly kind of almost cheats or gets lucky, or also because I've been mixing it up, playing with different versions of Mortal Kombat, and in the last week I've been getting used to Mortal Kombat Trilogy and beating that and whatnot on the PC. So by playing through all of these and not keeping in touch with this, my timing was a bit off initially, but as you see, I got better. But even then, like the last few weeks, I still beat this at the highest difficulty with only one continue. And one continue isn't bad, but honestly, I hate not having a flawless record. But anyway, so we didn't lose any of the boss fights. It was just one of the fights against Reiko and that. But I decided to show you that fight because one of the key criticisms of Mortal Kombat 4 is its lack of character diversity and lack of diversity in move sets. But I'd always argued that when you play the game at Ultimate, you could see that in some. So there is one fight against Reiko which I had to repeat because for once Reiko played well with distinctiveness and a bit of luck as well. So that's why you'd see. And here I'm finally getting my Scorpion right. That's pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty nice. But I love the reshade effects here because some of the special moves and like the fireballs and his Raiden's electric ball and whatnot, they look pretty much better with the reshade. So that's not bad. And yeah, so it's a good software for. And okay, that's good. I'm finally getting back in touch to my Scorpion combos here, which is pretty good. Yeah. Okay, good. And I'm not doing any fatalities here, and this game doesn't have any brutalities or babalities. And I think I've mostly switched off blood as well. So this is like what I call a family-friendly future. But yeah, and yeah, here's Sonya Blade. She's got some great moves and all, and particularly her leg grab, which was. And this is quite funny that her breaker, where she stands on top of you and twists your neck. Sometimes the camera gets a spin. So I'm like, what happened? Ooh, did she get the camera guy? So that didn't happen here, but this reshade thing is pretty beautiful because when I was playing without reshade, sometimes the camera would spin, but I don't think it has an impact on that. Or like, when you do a Sub-Zero freeze ball, the character becomes invisible as a glitch, but with reshade, that doesn't happen. But it's looking pretty nice here that you particularly see the effects of like, that electric, his Raiden's, whatever electric blast or whatever that thing is. And yeah, it's pretty good. And yep, and there I am getting back in touch with my Scorpion and whatnot. Yeah, yeah, got to connect. Oh, good, managed to connect to the spear. That's pretty important. And here we get back to Sonya. Yeah, so she's got some great moves, so she can distance with her that fireball, and she has that same upward bicycle kick, back down high kick that she has in Mortal Kombat 3 and Trilogy. In those games, she uses that beautifully as an anti-air. Here, she doesn't use that much, which is surprising, even if you like really scale up. But she's very good at surprising you with that leg grab. So yeah, so that's Liu Kang, and then now we face another Liu Kang. So yeah, this is where I noticed that glare coming up a bit, but mainly in like the health bars and some of the other ones. So and it's mainly visible at this level. But what I did is that at the end of this fight, I've disabled one of the either Magic HDR or Bloom to avoid that glow, so that it's like pretty okay from the 10-minute mark. But this wasn't a bad tool, and as I said, I have a separate video on how to configure this using the nglide and official packages provided by GOG.com, and how to get Windows 11 to make this game recognize your graphics card or force Windows 11 to do that. And if you do that, it looks pretty beautiful as it is. So but yeah, but it was a good experiment to try this reshade and also like yeah, get this because it does look beautiful, by the way. And yeah, because I was always a Mortal Kombat 4 fan because I played a bit of the classic MK games on the PC with my brother, but I mostly got into these Mortal Kombat from Mortal Kombat 4. And then in the 2010s, as a late starter, I played some of the 3D era games, which I didn't mind, though they were a bit different from conventional MK. And then when MK9 came out in 2011, I played it in 2013 as it was banned for a while in my geography. And then 2015, I got into MKX, and 2019, I got into MK11. So, but even each of these, and yeah, here I'm cutting off that arcane bloom or one of those settings that makes that thing a bit glowy. But yeah, I did make it a bit dark. So then I enabled it and I disabled another one of the settings. So then yeah, so what I've basically done is that for the MKs in 2010s when they came out, I played them for a couple of years each, and I played a bit of the 3D MKs also in 2010s. Otherwise, I was primarily, like I primarily grew up with MK4, so I really don't mind this. And here I'm experimenting some more with the reshade menu, and yeah, so just trying to find the right balance for you. And yeah, so I switched back Arcane Bloom on, but I decided to remove one of the redundant HDR effects. So yeah, I thought, yeah. So I removed Magic HDR. I just kept HDR because Magic HDR is experimental. Um, yeah, and then I removed Arcane Bloom. Yeah. Sorry, I had recorded this before, so I'm like just trying to retrace. Yeah, now it looks much better, eh? Now it looks like it should. So now I think it's going to look very appealing to you guys as well. I hope the first 10 minutes don't drive you away, but I wanted to show you the arcane bloom effects because I kind of like them. And oh, this is Reiko. You saw how he did a combo and used his flip kick as an anti-air. Now, unless you're playing with a controller, it is, or on the console, it is very hard for you to do that flip kick in the middle of a combo using a keyboard, at least on a modern PC. And in person, it's much harder to use him. But here you see, the AI is very fast with his breaker, and AI is very good at using the anti-air. And now this is a fight I should have won, but the way this AI has designed this Tanya and Sonia is they're pretty slippery, and a lot of punches and kicks miss them. So I don't know how I lost this fight. I should have won it, but yeah, so it was pretty weird. But yeah, here she tactically used a sidestep, which was a good thing about MK4. Yeah, and I should have gotten her here. Oh, but she got lucky with a throw, so I should have gotten her. So that's the thing. So sometimes at the highest thing, the AI cheats because she was actually stunned. So I should have continued my combo, but she recovered quicker to do the throw. And I think this match I somehow lost, which is the only match I've lost in this arcane run. Maybe partly distracted by the effects or something, but yeah. But yeah, no, that should be all right. And then yeah, so I'm primarily like an MK4 player, but it's been interesting that 30 years on, getting back into MK3, MK Trilogy, and new MK3 in the arcade has been an interesting experience. But those were mainly arcade games, like, in terms of like technical finesse and pure fighting technique, consistency in frame rates and whatnot. The subsequent MK, and okay, here we have lost it, but that's the only one. But we are going to continue this and win this fight. So yeah, in terms of the other things, I guess that the like, more pure from the fighting finesse and all the current MK games are more technically correct fighters for competitive scenarios. But I do believe that MK 1, 2, and 3 do have a competitive scene, a lot of it in South America and other geographies where until the early to mid 2010s, and even today, some people still play those games competitively. So it's not as if you can't play them competitively, and there are experts out there. They probably use consoles, and maybe I'm biased because I like using keyboards as I got used to that in the 90s. And on the PC, no matter how good with the keyboard, you don't quite get the same input you do in the traditional games like you do in MK4 over here. And this is a nice venue. I think this venue was first introduced in Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, and here it's in MK4, one of the fighting arenas, the Shaolin Temple. It looks beautiful, but this is where you can make out the gaps in MK4 and the PC. If the camera goes behind the window, you see a broken ledge, almost as if you're watching from the ledge of the window. So you don't see that in the console or in the arcade versions, albeit the PC version looks beautiful. It doesn't have some of the artifacts like MK Gold, or the arcade version had some additional banners or items in this room, and you don't quite see them here. But yeah, so it's interesting. So I think I somehow won this fight against the slippery lady, because currently my timing is a bit off, as in I've been playing Mortal Kombat Trilogy for the last couple of weeks, and that's a different kind of fun on its own. And that's going to be the second part of my Mortal Kombat Monday double feature, as you will see shortly. And now let's see, the Raiko is coming here, the only challenging person in this ladder. Though we did have a crazy boss fight shortly, but yeah, so this is Raiko, and yep. Uh, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm just gonna have to get him with Liu Kang, and then yeah. Oh yeah. Whoops, he does a throw, and then okay, counter with the flying kick. And yeah, his teleport is kind of funny. The way he raises his hand almost reminds me of high school, where somebody's asking permission to go to the water cooler or something. So that's kind of a funny teleport. But yeah, and here we are fighting the only other new character in this game, who after this game only came back in Mortal Kombat Armageddon in 2008, and hasn't been seen much since. Kai isn't too bad, but he's got these weird specials where he fires a fireball up in the air or down through the air. If you time it right, you can bounce the opponent for like a juggle combo. And he's got a very nice roundhouse kick, but that has a bit of a startup as well. But yeah, but Kai otherwise has like this nice alternate outfit with a jacket, and I'd shot a video of that in a while of him in that jacket. playing the game, and I was like Michael J. White wannabe, because when this game came out in the 90s, Michael J. White was coming up, pretty big star. And I remember when I got this game, that's the same time that Universal Soldier. The Return had come out in the cinemas. Though that movie's been critically panned, it was quite a lot of fun in the cinemas. It was typical 90s cinema, and it had a lot of big stars in it, and it had a bit of humor as well, in addition to the action and a couple of other things which are typical 90s references. So it wasn't bad fun for the cinema at all, but that's a topic of a separate video. But anyway, so this game came out in 97, but I first got it and played it in 99, at the same time that I'd also seen that Universal Soldier The Return in the cinema. So that's how I made that association. But yeah, here we are beating the Kai anyway. So, yep, no fatalities as promised. Just a jump kick with a nice sound. And now, yeah, this is that weird a-hole, Jarek. Now, this game didn't have too many new characters, so they just palette swapped like Kano for Jarek, and he's got the same moves as Kano anyway. But yeah, and normally it's pretty easy to beat, but here I think he does get some moves in. And yeah, you can see that the 3D of the time was still relatively new, that this was Mortal Kombat's first 3D entry. It wasn't fully 3D like Deadly Alliance or Armageddon, but you could sidestep. But the 3D environments, like sometimes you get into real awkward angles here, so you can make out they were relatively new. But I don't know if the console or the arcade people had the same experience, because in the arcade, MK4 was the best MK in the arcade, but it's just that the home ports at the time didn't have the tech to translate that quality. But if you see videos of the road shows or videos of MK4 arcade machines, it looks pretty beautiful on those. So, but yeah, the PC version has its own funny nuances. Now, here's my Scorpion getting angry. Yep. Oh yeah, I just love that there's that glitch in MK4 with certain character models like Cage, Jarek, or Reptile, and sometimes even Quan Chi. If you stand at a certain distance, you can just keep on high kicking them because they keep themselves unblocked for attack. So I just spam that high kick. I'm like, yeah, yeah, get out of my way. Yeah, so how does the curved TV screen look? Let me know about that. And now here we're fighting this useless guy again before we get to the main fight. You know that Guru is the sub boss, but to me, he's the boss of this game, because this is the only game with a normal human sized final boss. It doesn't really do much, but that's why I play 2-on-2 mode, because when you play 2-on-2, the final boss Shinnok is accompanied by Quan Chi, who's also quite tricky, and in a sense is almost like the actual sub boss of the game, because then you've got Quan Chi and Goro. They're relatively tougher to face. Like Shinnok, he just keeps on charging you unblocked, and he. Oh wait, yeah, this was amazing. This is that new combo multiplier. 3 hits, 54% damage. Because this is actually Quan Chi's weapon, but because I'm using. Okay, I missed it this time. Because I'm using an alternate outfit for Scorpion, instead of his usual longsword, he gets this club. And with that club with forward high punch, you can do that amazing combo. So yeah, and here now I'm using that high kick thing, but don't want this reptile jazz around for long. And yep, and now it's time to get Johnny Cage. Yep. Spam the damn high kick. Hmm. Yep.
Scorpion wins. Flawless victory. Round one. Fight.
Oh yeah. The main boss, Goro. I actually end up losing this round, which is pretty weird, because normally off late I've been beating Goros with characters other than Liu Kang, but here I even got my Liu Kang. Oh, got into the wrong corner. Ah, yeah. Now see here, I should have done the roundhouse to get him out of the corner, but I don't know, just did a uppercut, because people like seeing uppercuts, and that kind of got me there. But what I should have just basically done was like, yeah, this, yeah, should have done this to put him out of the corner, and then there is a certain timing in which you can keep on spamming that. And oh yeah, and here we get Mr. Cage, and yeah, and because I have the weapon, I can't do that high kick thing pretty easily. But oh, so he gets a bit lucky there. Yeah, he gets a bit lucky in this round, but I get him in the next one.
Round two. Fight.
Yep. High kick, high kick, high kick, high kick, high kick. Yep. Now it's time for Goro, and yep. Whoa, that's a big one. And yeah, got him with the spear this time. That timing is pretty critical. Yeah, I love this Ghost Rider outfit of Scorpion. Yeah. Here we go. Yep, got to get rid of this guy. No good, Liu Kang lives. Now we've got one more round before we get into the final boss fight.
Round
That should be
three.
interesting. And yep,
Fight.
Mortal Kombat Monday. Yeah. Yep. Oh, damn. The keyboard froze my input to let him jump. That's total rubbish. You should actually be able to free to move while he's up in the air. But anyway, so now let's get my scorpion up and angry. So yeah. Oh, damn. Missed that. Yep. That's okay. But luckily he likes beating his chest. And yep, we got him. And now it's time for Johnny Cage and the high kick trick. But okay, we missed that spear, and yeah, we're getting a high kick. But okay, he does a throw here. Oh no, he does a sweep, and then he does a throw. But let's get him because I don't want to be repeating this fight. And we do. Yeah, stopped him from throwing the weapon and got the guy. Good. So now we basically won because the final match against the final bosses is pretty easy. I don't know how they're the final bosses, but yeah, it's one, two, maximum damage. One, two, and then another one, and then another one. Oh no! And yeah, now comes the main boss, Conchi. Yeah, because when you play 2 on 2, you get this guy. This guy is pretty tricky with his overhead stomp and his fireball, which he does with a sidestep. So he's not as challenging as Goro, but the most challenging after Goro. And if you play 1 on 1, you wouldn't always get to fight him. So it's as a sub boss, you might get to fight him earlier on in the arcade ladder, and that wouldn't really matter much. So yeah, so this is pretty good. Yep. And oh, he's almost got, yeah, got him there with the fireball. Yeah, beat his skull with the fireball. Yeah. And now it's time for his nemesis Scorpion. Oh, good. Yep, again, I love that. Ah, missed the combo. And now he pulls out his weapon, and now I'm going to just go get his head. And oh, yeah. Yep, and now comes Shinnok, and Scorpion is somehow struggling against Shinnok here, but yeah. I think I'm going to let Shinnok get Scorpion, but then I'm going to get him with Liu Kang. Yeah, yep. Just go back, let him charge, uncharge, and smash him. Go back, let him charge, uncharged, and then smash him. And yep, it's the same AI that even Fujin has. That yeah, he charges unblocked, and there we got him. Great. So we finished the game. We should have done it unbeaten, but barring one good fight against Raiko. But that way you got to see how good the AI can get here at the peak. And yes, we are the supreme champion of Mortal Kombat. And now I show you a bit of a clip of Liu Kang's ending from MK4, but I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. And in some of the console and other versions, it looks pretty good, but here on the PC, it doesn't look that great. So I cut it short. But the summary is yeah that Liu Kang saved him as again as it was common in the 90s game, and Kitana thanked him and invited him to join her by the side as his king of Edenia, but he suggested that he would stay back in Earth because that's where his duty is. And yeah, and as we find out in Deadly Alliance, he wish he probably have taken her up on the offer, but that's a different thing. So I hope you enjoyed this first clip that I've set up for Mortal Kombat Monday, and you'd also see another one on Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And great, I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know which Mortal Kombat you want to see next Monday. Cheers.